Aha, ha, ha. Konnichiwa, bustas. The bug catcher is here today, smoking trees, and I'm catching Butterfreeze. And y'all see the title, The PokéPoint, Episode 4. No, time to wait. You see me on the screen, TBC baby, hard gold playthrough. It might be a mono bug run. It might not be. I don't really know. You ought to tune in to find out, right, Busters? So let's get right into the big doozies at hand. I just want to talk about Pokemon's two different writing styles, right? And it's almost three, and I'm just talking about mainline games. I'm not referring to any spin-offs or mystery dungeons, because that's not really the focal point of how they like to tell their stories, right? Everyone knows the stories. The main games is the main shit, right? Like, we all know. There's nothing to be surprised at what I'm saying, right? So I got the games categorized different in two different categories, right? So I got red, gold, and sword on one side, and those, like, there really ain't a story in those games, right? Now, sword and shield, the story is really focused on battling and you learning about you learn about the history of Galar, which every mainline game is going to teach you the history of that region somehow, right? But I'm about to show you why the Legends games saved this series, right? Saved Pokemon as a whole. So, Ruby, Diamond, Black, X, all these games here, they try to do what Scarlet and Violet do, but very poorly. They try to intertwine the gym battle challenge, the gym league challenge, with the story of the legend. Now, if these games were to do what Scarlet and Sun and Moon do, and kind of leave Sun, not really, I guess, with the Ultra Beast, right? But Scarlet, you really don't deal with the legendary Pokemon till you don't really go to Area Zero till post game. And in the past, Sun and Moon, like I'm saying, Sun and Moon, you gotta fight Solgaleo, and you ride one of them to the Ultra Wormholes, and you catch one, and you fight Necrozma and Ultra Sun right after the fact, right? Like, all of this major events, and Sword does it too, but you can see it's drawn out to the very end, and like, Leon's there to actually help you. Like, it's not like you're just doing it by yourself, right? Look at Big Ladybug on the screen. It's not like you're doing it by yourself like in Ruby. Steven's there watching the bullshit the whole time. Cynthia in Diamond and Pearl she tells you about the Slowpoke, or not the Slowpokes, the Psyducks. She's seen the Psyducks. She has the potion for the Psyducks, but she gives you the potion to go fix the Psyduck problem, and then she pops up right after. It's like, you stupid bitch. Like, why didn't you fix the Psyduck problem? Like, what kind of champion are you that cares about Pokemon, right? It doesn't really make sense. That's why in Red and Gold, when the story is so non-existent, like, that's the whole magic of Pokemon, right? Is putting your own thoughts on that main character. That's why Red and Gold, I'm not just going to say Red and Blue and Gold and Crystal, and yeah, that's stupid. There's Red and Gold capture what Pokemon really is, because it's my story. I talk about that in other videos. Sword is like Red on steroids, right? Red and Gold on steroids, because the story is so focused on you beating the gyms and meeting the gym leaders. The story's so focused on you doing that. And the reason I even put it in those categories, with gold, red and gold is because I've heard people say, oh, the story's minimal. They don't explain much. Well, you know, you gotta go figure the shit out on your own. Party Arlie, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't know why, your boy, his name's escaping me at the moment, doesn't Dynamax. Like, the game tells you, peers, the game tells you why he doesn't Dynamax, but she doesn't know that, right? I digress. So, like I was saying, so Ruby, Diamond, Black, X, all these games, it builds up the evil. So, picture how Scarlet and Violet intertwine those three stories. And people who don't complain about side quests enough, Scarlet really handles that, right? Because the main focus, and Sword proves it, and I think Scarlet also proved it, the main focus is the gym challenge. That is always the main story of these games, right? Now it makes sense why you're going through the main story of Pokemon, the gyms, right? To go on little side quest adventures like with your boy. I always forget the names and they always come back to me, but your boy with my balls are stiff, right? What kind of Pokemon name is that? My balls stiff? My balls are stiff. Anyway, that's the dumbest name for a Pokemon I've ever seen. He's cute little dog, but, you know, that name is kind of ridiculous, right? Arvin is his name, right? With my balls stiff. My balls are stiff. So look, Arvin, having the main gym challenge be the focus, and having shit like Arvin needing help with, you know, wanting to battle those big Pokemon, or Cassiopeia, whatever is that even her name? Oh, man. I can never pronounce it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. With all the Eevees, right? Or, you know, handling her bullshit side story. That's cool. And then y'all all come together at the end. So I'm going to expound more about Scarlet and Violet in its own video, right? But, and the reason, but it all culminates at the end. And normally, that big battle with the legendary and that stupid story Area Zero would normally happen before you beat the gym, before you finish the gym challenge. Like in Diamond, you get Dialga before you even beat the electric gym leader. It's like, why wasn't that guy helping me out? Right? Like, where was he at? And it's like, it just doesn't make sense. So, and in Sun, I can deal with, because there are, now I know the trials kind of replace the gyms, but that's just more of the island's tradition. Like, every region other than Alola has gyms. So how can you even say if that's a Pokemon tradition, right? That's not just a region by region basis. It's not like half the regions don't have gyms. So when you're dealing with the overblown story in Sun, I can deal with it because the overblown story in Sun is the story. There's nothing else I'm really dealing with, like the gym challenge, the Pokédex. Like, they give you that, but it's not like the focus. And that's why Legends games really saved this series, because now they can do their own overblown story in the Legends games, right? So that was always what took me out of Black and White, Diamond and Pearl, you know, Ruby and Sapphire, is I'm doing all this saving the world superhero shit, but I haven't even beaten the last gym. So it's like, let's go back to Diamond real quick, right? What if you know how dumb it is, fundamentally, if I literally save the world, but then can't beat the 8th gym leader? Like, that's stupid as fuck. That's why the Legends games are perfect for these overblown stories. Like, picture X and Y. X and Y is funny because they're the ones with the new Legend games coming out, right? ZA. X and Y story is so convoluted, so stupid, and there's so much stuff going on. They want you to focus on the gym. Then they want you to learn about Mega Evolution. Then you have to deal with Lysander. Then you have all these friends who don't even, have the, like, what's his name? Tierno, who dances? And the stupid little nerd with the little red hair, I believe, the yellow shirt. For some reason, I'm picturing Flint. Well, I'm picturing this little nerdy guy. But like, what? It doesn't even, now, in a Legends game, they would have properly developed those two to where it makes sense that their characters somehow find out how to battle well. Because that's like, they don't care about battling, but all of a sudden they're, at the end, they got like level 40 Pokemon towards the end. That's stupid. I even feel that, in Black, what's her name? Bianca shouldn't even be as good as she is at the end. It's like, how does she figure out how to battle out of nowhere? That's the whole thing, is that she can't battle, but somehow she's on par with you. It doesn't have enough time. There's not enough time in Black and White to figure that out to me. Because you got so much other shit going on with Anne, who, Anne's like the worst rival. Maybe he's good in the manga, but Anne sucks, bro. Anne would be good in a standalone Legends game. Picture him where you don't have to worry about the gym leaders. And, like, it just doesn't make sense. These Legends games really can make it to where the mainline games, even though they still are going to have to deal with a legendary, just because this is how it is, right? They're always going to have a box art legend, and they're always going to tell some story. But, you don't. I feel Pokemon, with the Legends games, I feel they should, the mainline games, in terms when you do a new region, like when Gen 10 comes out, I see everybody saying winds and waves, right? These games shouldn't even touch the legendary Pokemon. Obviously there should be 3 or 4 just chilling, like Articuno. Like, you don't know nothing about Articuno, really, in the Gen 1 titles. You just know he's there. And it's up for debate why he's there. You have to learn about Mewtwo yourself. Like, Mewtwo is crucial to the Gen 1 titles, right? Let's going back to the two different styles. Where, and like I said, I only threw Sword in with Gold and Red because that's what the online perception is, that the stories are basic and non-existent. Even though I do feel like Red and Gold should be in a class on their own, because all the lore you get isn't told to you by way of random NPC when you enter building. You have to go, and it's just told to you by someone like Bill, right? Like, it's not like after you handle Bill in his house, he gives you the rundown on Mew and Mewtwo. You see what I'm saying? Like Sonya would after you battle fucking, Hop for the 5th time about some tapestry in fucking Bob's Burgers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I love Sword and Shield. Those are probably the games I've played the most, other than Leaf Green. But even still, it's like it's just told to you. Red and Gold, you have to go find out all that stuff you're on your own. And now now back to my point. Like, now you can't even picture Red and Blue with Mewtwo intertwined in the story. And that's why there's there's 2 categories of their writing style. And that's why I feel Gen 10 shouldn't even, which is going to be in Italy, I have a video on it, which it shouldn't even touch legendary Pokemon, because that's what, like, they should have, excuse me, busters, I dropped my pen. Like, Gen 10 should be how Scarlet and Violet is, right? The 3 main, like, there's the main gym quest, Then there's two side stories, and the two side stories have nothing to do with the legendary Pokemon. And now you do the legendary Pokemon, even though you get it in the very, very beginning, you don't actually deal with the legendary Pokemon story till the post game. Which is how maybe Gen 10 should do it. I'm just picturing, like, why else would there be a Legend series if they don't involve legendary Pokemon? Like, I don't need to hear. I just feel that the games are so convoluted, trying to mix the gym challenge with your friendly rival, with your mean rival, with the legend of the, it's just stupid to me. It's so, like, for a 10-year-old, immersion is the key. How can I get immersed in black and white when there's so many different things going on with that character that I don't feel like myself when I play? I feel like I'm Rosa. When I play Black 2 and White 2, I'm not the bug catcher. I'm Rosa playing. Or if I'm playing Black, I'm Hilda or Hugh, right? Whichever their names are. But when I play Gold and Silver, Fire Red Leaf Green, Sword, I feel like the bug catcher. And I feel the Legends games should focus on stories that make you feel like that character. And I feel the mainline games should make you feel as immersed as possible, like Red and Gold did. And with all that being said, the bug catcher is out. Fuck with me.